Hello everyone, welcome to Alestral Plans. My name is Crystal Cedar and today we will be doing my spiritual, elemental, witchy pagan weekly plan with me in my custom classic and mini happy planner in an A5 cover. So hold on to your butts y'all, because Venus retrograde is happening this week and we're gonna go over it. So a couple of things happened more. I was in a ritual and I turned around for a second to grab something from the other room, and I had my planner out, and the pages were kind of on near a tree light. So unfortunately, my monthly mini happy planner spread burned a little. So I cut it down. You can kind of see the burn marks here a little bit. It kind of gives it like that pirate map kind of vibe, but I trimmed it all down. This is the mini monthly layout. This is for my mini dashboard layout happy planner. So I just cut it and then I glued it together to align, and I actually like it. I might actually do this for January. For now, for the rest of December, it will work. And I'm kind of laughing because it totally burned off the total solar eclipse that we had on the 3rd. Yeah, it was fiery. So I went ahead and pre-planned the elemental aspects for the week, kind of like written out the ephemeris for the week of the 13th through the 19th. And kind of closer view there. So I'm going to take this out. And I also pre-planned my kind of like working sheet here. And I'll show you what I did there. And move this aside. So this is the weekly ephemeris kind of written out. And this is going to be the last week where I'm going to have to scramble all over the internet to find out the planetary positions, because starting next week, we get to start the Wee Moon, the new Wee Moon 2022 journal pages. And they're actually going to have the planetary transits in the ephemeris really tiny. So, I have to kind of dust off my translations starting next week, but it'll be nice not having to go all over the internet to try to find the daily movements in the ephemeris. So I did something different, and I made a key right here for the different elements, just to make it easier for me to see at a glance what elements are at play. I do again practice elemental energy work, and technically I'm an elemental witch. So elemental energy work is based on the elements: water, fire, earth, air, and a lot of it has to do too with the planetary positions. So I made blue for water, kind of like pink, magenta for fire, green for earth, kind of like this golden peachiness for air, and then black for the moon. And then just to kind of see what that looks like at a glance, I'll know, okay, where's the moon at? Last line of the box, boom, in black. It's in this sign right now, because I will be doing ceremony and ritual for the next 3 weeks. This is today. This is Mars in Sagittarius, which is fire and a weirdo kind of combination of fire and earth, and then air with earth, water, fire, water, earth, and then water, fire. But because it's Mars and Sagittarius, it's like a no-brainer. It's already going to be fire earth, because that's the predominant energy of today. And it just means that if you are sensitive to fire folk energies, or you're a little bit more sensitive to kind of aggression or very directedness, and like are more on the sensitive side today, then yeah, that's because Mars is in Sagittarius. Tuesday the 14th, water, air, water, earth, water, air. So I'm gonna say it's going to be water and air. I'm going to change this actually. This is going to be an air and earth day. Okay, so Wednesday, gotta get ahead of myself. Water and earth, because all the water, and then the moon is in Taurus, so luckily earth. And then Thursday, okay, so the different multiples of a certain planet sometimes are showing the movement of them moving through the signs. So for example, the moon will be trine Pluto at 3:28 in the morning, and then at 5:13 in the morning it's going to trine Venus, and then it goes to square, the moon will square Jupiter at 8 o'clock in the morning. For me, because I will be doing ceremony and ritual for the next 3 weeks, I need to know the time, because I need to know when to wake up, or I need to know when to light a certain candle, or I need to know when I just need to do certain things. So that's why I'm putting in military time, because it's like easier for me to like write down 4 numbers instead of like AM, PM, PM, AM. It's understood for me anyway. So I write the time there. And this week too, I wrote the time as much as possible that the moon will be transiting into its next signs. So I didn't write one here because it actually entered Aries on Sunday, or yesterday at the time of this filming. So it'll be tomorrow, the moon will enter Taurus at 11 minutes. So in like human time, it's like 12:11 a.m. And then again on Thursday, it goes into Gemini. The moon goes into Gemini at 12:43 noon. So it's just to help me stay on track. The energies of this day are lit though. We've got water, fire, water, earth, water, fire, fire. And then this sun in semi-square with Saturn. And then the moon is in Gemini. Overall though, I'm going to say that the energy will be fiery. And earth. Another thing that I created, a new tool for me to use while I'm doing my weekly plan with me's, are a chart of the planets with the zodiac signs that they govern, or that they kind of rule, and then the elements of these zodiac signs, which relate to also the planets, because there's no real elements per planet. It's more about the signs that they rule, and then these elements are based on the zodiac signs. So this is based on this, which is based on this. But just as a better cheat sheet, last week we were using kind of like my ghetto post-it cheat sheet, and it just wasn't enough. I needed more. So I made this card up. I'm probably going to laminate it and then punch it. That way it doesn't get gross. So that's another tool. Please feel free to pause and kind of, I don't know if you guys want to use this as an example of one that you can make for yourself for your own tracking. Friday the 17th of December, moon is going to be trine Saturn, and then the moon will also be in the sign of Gemini. So I'm going to say that the energies of the day will be earth and air. Saturday, this is when we get a little bit more really exciting. Full moons in Gemini, automatic air. Straight up. Then we also have a little bit of sprinkling of this is supposed to be blue. Why is this green? Yeah, this is blue. Let's correct that right now. So blue. Just to reiterate that. Neptune. And then the moon trines Jupiter, which is in fire. So I'm going to say it's going to be air, water, and fire, which is usually very emotionally charged, but you know. And then on Sunday, we have on the 19th, Venus in retrograde. Venus is one of those cosmic weirdos that has 2 elements. So Venus is both earth and air. I just did it in pink because she also rules love. So right away, it's going to be air. So air, earth, and then Sun will sextile Jupiter, be in sextile Jupiter. So Sun sextile Jupiter at 5:08, and then at 1:41 a.m. the moon will be in Cancer. So that's going to be, I'm going to kind of make it in sub. So the predominant elements of the day are going to be air and earth to represent Venus, and then a little tiny sprinkling of water and fire because of the moon being in Cancer, and then the sun sextile Jupiter in the afternoon, later on in the afternoon. So, but the main ones are going to be air and earth. So now that we know our elements of the week, I'm going to go ahead and write it out in my elemental aspects of the week like I did last week, because I found that really handy. And this is last week's elemental aspects of the week. I'm just going to write down the days with the dates, and then what we just did over here with the elemental math. And then I'll just write it out longhand here. Okay, so I've got the first 5 days here, and I couldn't find my yellow pen because CREAM, cats rule everything around me, and I don't know where it went. So I'm using my super fancy high-tech Crayola super tip to do the air element color. Okay, but Saturday is the full moon in Gemini, and then we've got Venus in retrograde. So I'm actually going to highlight those days to kind of stand out, because elementally I need to be prepared for that. And then I will be using my pink Crayola super tip, kind of like blush pink, and then a fluorescent one. This is called, wow, it's so fluorescent I can't read it. Neon yellow. All right, so that is all highlighted. I'm going to go ahead and write out the elements of the day. Saturday, full moon again in Gemini, air, water, earth. Air, water, fire. And then on Sunday, we said it was going to be overall air and earth to represent Venus, and then small, minor in water, fire. Closer view at the elements there for the week, if you wanted to pause and then jot it down for yourself. Okay, so let's get started talking about this Venus retrograde, what it means and what it represents. It is a doozy of a time, and when I look back at all the previous Venus retrogrades in the past 10 years, they've always signified a lot of uncomfortable growth. And for that reason, I wanted to try something different with how I did my worksheet or work page for the week. I went crafty and I made it kind of flippable, so I can journal about what I'm experiencing or what I'm feeling during this Venus retrograde, and then still be able to do like basic work here. Venus retrograde brings up a lot of sometimes not the most positive energies. I watched a really great podcast / summary of highlights of the Venus retrograde on astrologyhub.com or on Astrology Hub channel by Christopher Renstrom, and he really greatly describes the energies that are at play during a Venus retrograde and what to look out for and how to prepare. These are going to be for the crystals of the week, because we just talked about the elements. I think it's going to make an easier transition. I cut this box out of the reverse of a mini daily sheet happy planner daily sheet. So this is what I used for my mini last year for daily sheets, and then I also used the classic sized, but I didn't like the classic sized because there was no note paper on the back. It was another day, and I don't like that. I like to have room to kind of write a schedule, and this was very cute on the go, but for doing my everyday work from home, it wasn't enough. That's why I switched to a classic and to a different daily layout. But it's really great for pink scratch paper. So we're going to go ahead and use it. Making a return is my beloved corner rounder. So the crystals of the week emphasis are going to be focus, clarity, and kind of like overall good mental health tracking, monitoring. So let's put this guy over here so that you can see. Okay, so the first crystals I'll be recommending for the week, I'm going to write them right up here, are going to be based on mostly preparation for the week end, with all the heavy hitters that are happening on the weekend. First stone I'm going to go over is clear quartz. Clear quartz is going to be so important for focus and for just getting overall things done while everybody may be falling apart around you. Just saying. Venus retrograde represents social relationships. So relationships outside of anyone that is related to you by blood. So this can be coworkers, bosses, shipping kind of like associates if you're sending things out for the holidays, like the post office or FedEx. And it can also be your friends that are like more like acquaintances versus really close friends. I noticed over the years of my experience that tends to be the case of a lot of people's kind of challenges. So clear quartz. This is so any stone that is clear is going to be all the elements combined, maybe with a little bit more focus on the air element. So all 4 elements with an emphasis on air. Then my second crystal recommendation of the week is going to be blue apatite. This is a raw specimen, but this is more on the gemmier side. Blue apatite, A-P-A-T-I-T-E, is earth and water element combined. So it's enough water to flow, for things to flow off you or flow through you, versus kind of sitting still or being, on the flip side, a little too emotional and reactive. It just allows just the energies to wash over you and then wash away. And then the earth element of this is to stay grounded during that releasing or washing away process. So blue apatite. Okay, my next crystal recommendation is going to be a 2-4 or twofer. So those people who are on the fire and water aspect, I'm going to recommend Tiger Iron. So this is Tiger's Eye with iron hematite. So again, this is for fire and water aspect people. This is actually a combination of red tiger's eye with golden tiger's eye. Red represents the root chakra, and then yellow represents the solar chakra. Root chakra right now will be challenged a bit because of the Venus retrograde being so emotional. And we can see here that the elements are going to be air and earth. So for fire folks and water folks, this is to bring out and stabilize your earth side. And then if you're more air and earth, this is hematite iron, just straight up hematite. And this is to help represent the air element, because all signs will be susceptible to some kind of receiving end of like some emotional projections or aggressive miscommunications, assumptions, all that kind of stuff. So the iron, which is the common crystal here, is to help deflect any of those unwanted lower frequency, lower vibration, aggressive projections from people for the next 40 days. However, I'm just going to recommend it for this week. You can absolutely use it for the whole duration of Venus retrograde. I know I am. This is not leaving my desk. But water and fire folk will be draining out faster, and that's why the recommendation of the tiger's eye, for in this case the red and the golden tiger's eye, to help keep you rooted and then to keep your solar chakra recharged in the event of you offering too much support to people or energy vampires. With my air and earth folks, this is for you to have a stronger protection barrier to help deflect what I said earlier, which is those aggressive projections and unwanted lower frequency, lower vibration energies that may be coming at you during the next 40 days. And hematite is just a really good thing to have anyway, because it helps to concentrate and teach you on deflection versus protection. The way that I've explained it for years is protection is when there's already contact with those energies. Deflection is as soon as that lower frequency, lower vibration energy comes at you, it deflects back to the source times 3 immediately. So it's more of like prevention versus therapy. Hematite. And then last but not least, to help with the new moon energies on this Saturday, kind of going backwards here a little bit, but for Saturday's energy of air and water and fire, I'm going to recommend shell. If you live on the West Coast, or if you're native, or if you already have it readily available, this is red abalone. This is Pacific Ocean abalone, and it's very, very sacred here, especially in the community that I'm with in the Bay Area. I value red abalone like diamonds. So this is my just one of my red abalone pieces, but this is to help with, again, that kind of processing of energies through and not letting them stay. And the red is just kind of an emphasis on root chakra. Even though, this is a very old abalone shell, it just over the years gets shinier and more beautiful and more shimmery over the years, and she was polished by the ocean and not by man. So red abalone, that's a bonus for practitioners, for those going through ascension process right now and or awakening. Red abalone shell. And you can use any shell that you have readily available to you. In some parts, red abalone is unavailable or is very expensive, so definitely any kind of seashell of your choice. That is our crystals of the week, along with our elemental aspects for the week. Okay, so now I wanted to touch on a little bit more about this Venus retrograde that we're going to be having occur on Sunday, the 19th, right after the full moon. Venus retrograde can be a really, really difficult time, and it doesn't help that it's during the holidays as well. There is a lot of feelings of isolation, helplessness, hopelessness. Add to that also drama, people not thinking right, not being in their head, going against their moral fiber. For example, Chris Renstrom brought up the example of a friend who had an extramarital affair. gotta watch it. It's really good. You gotta watch that that channel's I guess episode or highlights of Venus retrograde. But I also observed this happening with my clients during the last couple or several Venus retrogrades. I don't understand why, but it's almost as if we give in to our conviction, we lose conviction, and we give into more of the fantasy side, even though this has nothing to do with Neptune. It's more like you give in to the forbidden, or there's more things that are like hidden during a Venus retrograde. I know many people that have ended their relationships not mutually, but because of the fault of another partner, because of how the energies might be more reactive and spontaneous in a very negative way, okay, hot mess drama way, versus being like, oh, okay, well, this person is just acting like this because they may be hurt, they may be reacting out of trauma, or they may be just having a bad day. So here I'm going to be writing down some things that we need to watch out for as triggers during the Venus retrograde. All right, so I wanted to go over some of the more triggering factors of Venus retrograde that I know for myself I need to watch out for, not only in myself, but in other people. And the very first one that I noticed was energetic vampirism. Now, energetic vampirism is when people that appear to be confident, appear to have it all together, appear to be going through the most awesome time of their lives through illusion, are actually that way because only because they are recharging from people and not from nature, not recharging from meditation, not recharging from crystals, or healthy self-care. They actually are vampiring the people around them's energy. And during Venus retrograde, when, the crap hits the fan, a lot of them come out. I mean, let alone we're already in the holidays and that's already been happening for the past couple of weeks. Energetic vampires are real, and unfortunately they can be your coworkers, they can be your closest friends, closest relatives, your partners, and people go through hard times. But that does not give them the permission to take your energy without your consent. A lot of us will say, oh, I'm there for you, I'll be there for you, and then offer a certain amount of our own energy. But a lot of us will get trapped in, I know this is for myself, I would get caught up in the people pleasing that I would let people drain me for days, weeks, sometimes up to a month. And then at the end of that period, it's like nothing ever happened. And there's no compensation, there's no exchange of energy, there's no reciprocation of energy. And so I was always left very, very drained and very, very vulnerable to my own psychic attack from entities and residual energies, while this friend or this partner will just happily go on and be a boss, ready to find a new person to feed off of energetically, because I was already drained out, tapped out, nothing else to offer. I would like to encourage everyone this week is to please be aware of energetic vampires and set healthy, super strong, ridiculous limits and boundaries when you're interacting with these people for the next 40 days. Okay, another one is to summon your inner strength. This is your time to summon your inner strength, not a time for you to retreat within. And a lot of people will be tempted to do that, especially if somebody's coming at you at work, or if you're getting bullied on social media. And let me tell you, bullying on social media is not as cut and dried as it seems. My second point is going to be of emphasis is summoning your own inner strength. Don't retreat, stand your ground, check yourself, and make sure that you're demonstrating as many powerful protections and deflections as possible. Another aspect of this, while you're summoning your inner strength, is also summon your inner confidence. It's not ego when you are telling yourself, no, I got this, no, I know this. Inner confidence. Emphasis on inner confidence. Inner confidence is the quiet confidence that helps you get stuff done because it is true. A lot of times people will sell themselves short or not go after big opportunities because of lack of inner confidence. But sometimes it's just as easy as changing your inner dialogue and what you're telling yourself. If you are tracking all the movements during the week, you are preparing, whether it's with crystals or meditation or sound healing, off of other wonderful sound healing channels on YouTube, to make sure that whatever you're feeling overall is balancing out whatever these elements are for the week. You are exercising the work that needs to happen. You are practicing the work that needs to happen towards your inner confidence. Inner confidence is just knowing the truth within yourself, and the truth within yourself is that you're awesome. So don't retreat, summon your inner strength and your inner confidence. And then the third point is going to be for vigilance. Vigilance is the hyper awareness and consciousness that we need to demonstrate during this time, 40 days of Venus retrograde, on top of everything else. Like, we're still going to have the holidays, we're still going to have other things happening in the month of December, but this extra vigilance is going to make us stronger as far as tracking the energies around us, understanding why the energies around us exist. Is it because we are putting ourselves in maybe not the best position, or is it because there is some reactionary things going on, and can you remove yourself from that position? So vigilance. And the vigilance that we need to be aware of extra this period is, again, those energetic vampires that are feeding for their success versus doing the self-care and the self-work and the self-practice they need to for their success, to achieve their own success. Also, maybe vigilance in how you react to current day news, because usually, building up towards the end of the month, especially on December 24th, we're going to have even more crazy, hectic planetary happenings in our life, in our world, and on our planet. And so there may be events that occur that may compromise our mental health, or maybe cause anxiety, or maybe cause depression within ourselves. And we need to be prepared for that. So that is also another thing to be vigilant of, on top of the energetic vampires. And then this third point here, I'm going to say, is anxiety that can be caused by social media itself. This is a time of illusion. A lot of the really cool Christmas party images that you are seeing with families on Instagram, on social media in general, Twitter, TikTok, whatever, a lot of them are not as heartwarming as they appear. And so being vigilant against the energies behind those illusions of images and image are going to be really important. So anxiety caused by social media, please be aware. Try to take digital detox days if possible. So this is going to be what my week is looking like so far. I do have my crystals of the week here to help kind of keep me grounded, centered, and balanced as much as possible. And then I do have a journal sheet here that I can kind of write further things on. I just basically took this paper and then instead of gluing it, I just put a wide piece of washi tape here. Yay, crafty points. I'm going to be adding a sticker here just to fill the space from the Craft Smart from Michaels. Stickers called Pastel Christmas. This is from last year. Unfortunately, I don't think this is available, but for happy planners out there, it's kind of like Color Story for like 3 scrapbooks. So this was the Pink Santa scrapbook that I had mentioned in my December holiday planner setup. Thank you for those that viewed it. Under 20 people, yay! But this is that Pink Santa scrapbook inspired stickers. And then this is for the pastel that is actually called Sugar Plums scrapbook. And I wanted to use a sticker from this just to kind of tie the two together. So that's my weekly plan with me this week for December 13th through the 19th. I really hope in offering these plan with me's that you are finding some own inspiration and some ideas for your own happy planner kind of grimoires or happy book of shadows, or for your own book of shadows and grimoires. Just get back to your craft. If you are a practitioner, if you're a solitary witch or a coven witch, or not even a witch at all, but just really drawn to the elementals, the elements, interdimensionals, this is a really good time to start the routine of spiritual self-care. And this is just the basics. This is universal. It's the planets. We're on a planet. This is how the other planets move around us. These are the elements. We're made out of water. So it makes sense that these different elements would affect us as such. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope everyone is doing well. Stay tuned for my next video. I'm going to be kind of going over quickly what I'll be doing for my Yule ritual for this year. Some people might be interested in that if they're looking for ideas of a ritual to do for Yule. So until next time, friends and paws, may we all aspire to find energetic balance and connection to our own loving spirit and our own inner brightness today. Thank you so much. Bye.